Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly hope this video finds you in good health and in good spirits, and welcome to my home. Okay, I got something going on here that's a little bit different. This video more than likely won't relate to a lot of people, but then I can't help that. You know, I just do videos as I see fit, as I feel like, or whatever have you. But I had a young fellow recently from Michigan, and I'm not going to say where he lives, or I'll just give his first name. But I had a nice young fellow from Michigan write me a card, a snail mail, sent me a card, which I thought was very nice of the young fellow. You know what I'm saying to you? So what I figured I'd do, this young man's name is Tim, or Timothy. I'll just call you Tim. I would imagine somewhere down the line there, Tim, you'll probably watch this video. But I thought, I'm just going to answer. I'm just going to answer this card in a few things, that Tim had stated to me, And so, so thank you very much, Tim, for giving me the opportunity to do a video, because that's one of the biggest problems I got with my YouTube videos is digging up stuff to, to record, dreaming up stuff to record. Okay, here's the envelope, Tim, that you sent me. And just to show you, I went ahead and got on Google Earth just to verify that I had a real live residence, or what I'm trying to say there, Tim, is I hope you're not a fake person. I hope you're not pulling my leg, which I'm going to assume in this situation that you aren't. But I looked your return address up on Google Earth, and I see that you're located approximately 35 miles from Detroit, Michigan. I feel sorry for you, brother. I feel sorry for you. I don't have anything against Detroit, Michigan, but I've watched enough videos in my day about the conditions and the economic problems and the racial problems, etc., that goes on in Detroit, Michigan, okay? Let's don't BS each other here, Okay, I know you're located approximately 35 miles from Detroit, Okay. Let me put that away. And like I say, no names here, no addresses, because I ain't in the business of screwing people's lives up and doxing people and giving out addresses and all that. Here's this card. Very well wrote. Thank you. Like I say, Tim, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It means enough to me where I, turn my iPhone on here, And by the way, before I get started in here, I've been absent from the world of YouTube, especially lately, even though I've had a lot of time on my hands here, because I went out and bought me a brand new iPhone XS Max, got it all set up and everything, and quickly discovered, or whatever have you, that I didn't know what the hell I was doing when it come to the camera function. I've had to do a lot of reading and a lot of researching because they changed some of the codec up. They've got 4K at 60 frames a second now and all this other crap. For anybody that might be interested, right now I'm recording at 4K resolution, 30 frames a second. Okay, and I advise you, anybody that's listening to this video that cares, if you buy a new iPhone XS Max, if you want real good quality without going through all of the various camera modes, just put it on 4K at 30 frames a second. Forget the rest, okay? All right. Anyway, Tim starts out. He says, "Hi, Jim. My name is Tim. I'm 36 years old. You're one heck of a lot younger than me, Tim. You're divorced, no kids, that's all well and good. I've been married for 44 years, Tim. I'm not comparing you to me at all, And you're from Michigan, and you work as a paramedic. Now, listen to me, Tim. I'm glad you work as a paramedic. You want to know why? we got a lot of sick people on the face of this planet. I've been saying this in my YouTube channel from day one, brother, and I got my reasons, okay? Anyway, you go on to say you hope this wasn't too much of a bother. I know what you meant, by this card. I loved it. I loved it enough to do this video for you anyway, and you put on here that you hate YouTube comments and social media as well. Look, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain to you, this might be for some of you people, because there's some people that are on my channel that know me from my broadcasting days on the old platform known as Blog TV. They went out of business. Blog TV went out of business. It was the end of March of 2013. And I was, I wouldn't say I was one of the more, I wasn't, the most popular broadcaster on Blog TV, but I got featured a lot, and a lot of people got to know me, and it was from my broadcasting days that I learned, live broadcasting, live audiences, that I learned how much hate and trollers and idiot sticks and people of low morality, let's put it that way, that exist on the internet. And I don't do social media because social media, it's an avenue that allows people to make a horse's ass out of themselves, like I've said before. And you take like Facebook, for example. You take like that Mark Zuckerberg. Look, I'm not letting a worm like him, a geek from hell like him, trying to pull artificial intelligence experiments on me, or collecting my personal data, or trying to figure out what my shopping habits are, or reading the history of my browser. And this stuff is going on the internet. And I don't have the psychological need to be plastering 1,000 million selfies of my ugly self every day, all day long. Or, like say for lunch today, I want to run down to the 49er here in Livingston and get me a hamburger. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do, all right, is run down there, take a picture of what I'm going to eat, and plaster it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever have you. I just think that social media is misused, and then the people that are running these platforms, they're really not, they don't have your best interest in mind. But for you folks that use social media, fine, tear it up. I don't need the ego boost and all that crap. I don't. Okay, let's move along here. I'm getting bogged down. Anyway, you Googled my name and you found my address. Well, you found the right guy, because there ain't too many James Robert Borans that live in Montana. My heritage is from my dad and his grandparents, my grandparents, his folks. They were from the South, Kentucky, Missouri, the Borans out of the South. Now, and you're probably wondering, well, how did I come from Montana? Well, my dad married a Montana gal. My mom. My parents are both dead now. I'm an old dude. I'll be this December 23rd, I'll be 67 years old, but that's neither here nor there. My parents have both passed, so I'm the byproduct of a rebel marrying a Yankee, if I can put it that way. Okay, that's the deal. Okay, and anyway, you go on to say that you think I'm really funny. Well, believe it or not, Tim, I am funny. But the internet has a unique way of making my rear end pucker. I see so much garbage on the internet sometimes it makes me ill. I joke you folks not. I joke not. But hey, I also believe that everybody should have the right to freedom of speech, expression, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that I gotta like some of the garbage I see on the internet. Okay, well, let's move along here. You remind me of an uncle. Well, I'm glad, Tim, I remind you of somebody, instead of maybe a horse's ass. or whatever have you. Anyway, it says, I like that you were just yourself unedited. Look, that has been one of the premises of my channel. I don't try to be anybody else. I have a hard enough time, Tim, just being myself. And I used to edit videos, a lot of videos. I used to do a lot of, this is the third time that I've been on YouTube because the other two channels I had, the haters run me off. But until I got smart enough to stop trying to defend myself. That's the reason why I don't allow comments. I'm not going to sit around all day listening to somebody calling me names, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, telling me I got a big mouth. I've seen it all. I've heard it all in my day, especially from my broadcasting days. You're looking at a guy that's had all kinds of death threats and all this other stuff. I am the wrong Jose to be given death threats to. Trust me on this. Not only do I have great big firearms, but I can get real mad, real fast, in a real big hurry. But I am a very kind human being. I am a very gentle human being. I actually pray. I practice meditation, believe it or not, and stuff like that. And I care about the human race. Because as far as I'm concerned, Tim, ladies and gentlemen, the human race is going straight to hell in some respects. Okay. Anyway, I found your channel by one of my, you call it my greatest hits. I don't even know what my greatest videos are. I hardly ever look at my channel settings, the analytics, where they tell you how many views you got and how many people are coming and going and signing up and all that. But you liked, what's wrong with the state of Montana? Yeah, I remember doing that video. I did that about a year and a half or so ago. It was true. And there was probably a bunch of other stuff I forgot. Because I got short-term memory loss, because I suffer with, PTSD from the Vietnam War. And every once in a while, you guys will see me doing videos. And I use index cards to write notes. It's what I call my teleprompter, to keep myself on track. Because sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just kidding. But, it helps me keep, write little notes down on an index card and keeps me on track, okay? Anyway, you say you laughed so hard at that. Well, I don't know what I said that was funny, but I'm glad you liked it. Okay, much can be said about this. You're right. Much of the same can be said about Michigan, especially the winter driving and the long months of doom and gloom. Yes, I know. I've never spent a lot of time in Michigan, very little time. I have been to Detroit, believe it or not. I have been in, Chicago's in Illinois. Well, I've got a brother that lives out in Pennsylvania, so I've done a little flying back and forth from Montana to Pennsylvania. Actually, I've only twice, but I don't like flying on airplanes because I was on when I came back from Vietnam, I was medevaced out of Vietnam, and I was on a disabled, dysfunctional C-141. I was on a United States Air Force airplane that it was actually a flying hospital where several guys died in flight back. But that doggone thing was leaking hydraulic fluid. I didn't think, I thought, oh my God, I've made it clear through Vietnam. I'm on my Freedom Bird home, and this sucker's going in the Sea of China or whatever, but we made it. But yeah, that thing was leaking hydraulic fluid. It was leaking hydraulic fluid right down from a hydraulic line at the top of the aircraft on the inside, right by my chair. That's what I know. Well, it's a story for a different day. Okay. Yeah, and we've got a lot of doom and gloom. You got to protect yourself in the state of Montana, from what this mental disorder called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. You need to use a light box. You need to eat properly. You need to exercise and all, whatever you got to do, because we can go for months and months sometimes with a lot of doom and gloom, because we got really harsh winters in the state of Montana. Anyway, you say, Tim, that you traveled alone and visited Montana for the first time and did some hiking here in 2018. You didn't exactly say where you went hiking, but that doesn't matter. As you probably know, Tim, 1/3 of the state of Montana, 1/3, is covered with mountains. I mean, we got a lot of mountains in the state of Montana. Thousands of miles worth of mountains, as a matter of fact. And right here in this Livingston, i.e. Paradise Valley, i.e. Park County where I live, there we've got tons and tons and tons of backpacking and hiking trails not even that far from my home here, maybe 10 miles. And this last summer I wanted to get up and do more of that, but I had too many house repairs I had to attend to. Okay, neither here nor there. Anyway, you say, Tim, that for many decades you wanted to come to Montana, and I guess you got that out of your system. And you say that this land cut deep into your soul. Montana will do that. But this is kind of a tough state to live in because of the harsh weather. The wages are kind of low, etc., etc. And I know I stated some of those facts in my my video entitled "What's Wrong with the State of Montana." Okay. Anyway, you said the place kind of reminded you of northern Michigan, but without the mountains. I can understand that. And I know Michigan's a nice state too. Some of it. Except for Detroit. I'm just kidding, Actually, I'm not, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, again, thank me again for my channel. My pleasure. I just do YouTube. You know why, Tim, that I do YouTube? It's a way for me to express. It's an avenue for me to be able to express myself, to get my ideas out. It's part of my Constitution, our Constitution, I should say, known as freedom of speech. It's an avenue for me to be able to speak out into society. Like I say, I ain't trying to get rich off of YouTube. I'm not looking for a lot of subscribers. If you want to subscribe, fine. I never hit people up for money. You never hear me saying, ring the bell and like me and thumbs up if people like what I do, fine. If they don't like what I do, fine. To me, YouTube is just a hobby, okay? It ain't nothing to get in a big twist about. I got to keep saying that all the time, or I wouldn't be able to make these videos. Trust me on that. Okay. And you're welcome there, Tim, for my channel, whatever, and he encouraged me to please continue to make videos. Well, here I am. I haven't gone anywhere, Anyway, you'd like to hear more about hunting and fishing stories? Now listen, right here, right there. Let me stop for a second, Tim. I've been hunting and fishing all my life. I could sit here from now till Hades froze over telling hunting and fishing stories. I estimate I am a master fly tyer. I've been trout fishing ever since I've been about 11 years old. I estimate that I've caught no less than 10,000 trout in my day. That's fact. And people can either believe that or not believe that. Back in my broadcasting days, I remember I used to have people come into my shows and tell me stuff like, I bet you never even seen a trout before in your life. I guarantee you that there's been a few relatives of mine that wanted me to take them fly fishing or just fishing in general. And almost everybody that's ever went fishing with me, I made them look pretty bad with the amount of fish that they caught compared with the amount of fish that I caught. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. All right. And I got plenty of stories, trust me. But I'm not going to tell them any stories during this video because this video is too long anyway. And what I think about bear spray, I've already said that, Tim. I don't believe in bear spray. I mean, okay, if people are freaked out about firearms, or they just absolutely don't have any other way to deter bears, grizzly bears in this case, get you some bear spray. Bear spray has gotten a lot better over the years than what it used to be. 10, 15 years or so ago when bear spray first come out, there is no way I would have staked my rear end, my safety, my life, my keister, my arse on this crap called bear spray. I pack a Glock 20. That's a 10 millimeter auto with lots of clips. 3 extra clips. That's my bear spray. But I encourage people, if you come up here to Montana and you think you're brave enough to take on these mountains and you want to go backpacking and all that, pack you some bear spray. But know how to use it. Watch some of my videos. I have put out what I consider some really good advice videos on what to do, with grizzly bear encounters and stuff like that. I'm serial. And if I ever had an encounter with a grizzly bear, yes. But that's a story for a different day. Okay. All right. What else do we got here? And about the good and bad of Montana, okay, I'm with you, Tim, but I'll have to, make another video for another day, And if you feel like it, since you got my address there, Tim, you can write me, or maybe we can get to know each other a little bit better or whatever have you. I could even be able to invite you up to my home, because the wife and I were empty nesters. I have a 4-bedroom home. I just got done dumping a whole bunch of money into my property. All my kids are raised, and blah, blah, blah like that, So whatever here, As a matter of fact, you're the second person on the internet that's got a hold of me via snail mail. I had a fellow that wanted to get a hold of me real bad. He lives over in, Everett, Washington. I did a video or two for him. His name is Dick Ness. I know he wouldn't, N-E-S-S, I know he wouldn't mind me saying, but we actually become friends. But I never met Dick, but we've talked on the phone, that kind of thing, Okay. All right, and then you want a few thoughts from me about Glacier National Park. Now listen, Tim, I was born December 23rd, 1951 in Kalispell, Montana. And Kalispell, Montana is only about 40 miles southwest of one of the entrances to Glacier National Park. Believe it or not, I've been in Glacier National Park, I wouldn't say lots of times, but enough to know what's shaking up in that country. But I haven't spent near as much time in Glacier National Park as I have, say, Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone National Park is only 60 miles south of where my rear end's sitting right here. I'm in Livingston. The park starts right at a place called not Immigrant, Montana, but Gardner, Montana. The Roosevelt entrance, what they call the north entrance to the park. And I've been in Yellowstone National Park more times than I care to even talk about. I don't go in there anymore. Want to know why? Because there's stupid tourists in there. I mean, really stupid people. Excuse the way I'm talking, but And also, you thank me for my service to this country. Yes, it is absolutely true, Tim. I am a Vietnam veteran. It was Veterans Day yesterday. I was going to try to do a video, but I thought I would just honor Veterans Day by keeping my mouth shut. And believe you me, I am no hero when it comes to, I can't sit here and tell you a bunch of heroic stories about my service in Vietnam. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I come out of Vietnam a different man a young man than when I went over there. In fact, Vietnam over the years has left a bitter taste in my mouth. It's made me not trust politicians. I don't trust the government, things like that. And I've had to work really, really hard inside myself for forgiveness. And I'm talking about the way us Vietnam veterans were treated. I'm talking about the way the government did us. And every other thing. Us Vietnam veterans were treated pretty bad. We were crapped on in a lot of ways. But I've had to do a lot of work on myself, because you just cannot continue to go around with a chip on your shoulder. You'll never grow as a human being. So I've had to learn forgiveness in a big-time way. Okay, and also right at the end of your card here, you know, you thank me for my Sasquatch videos. I only did one great big long-winded video about Sasquatches. I've been up in the woods a lot, done a lot of hiking, fishing, elk hunting, blah, 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 you know, videographing and all that sort of stuff, and never, ever, ever seen any sign that I couldn't put a rhyme or reason to. Never even remotely run into a Sasquatch, a Yeti, a Bigfoot, or any, you know, I've got a big long-winded video on that subject. All right, that's the end of this video. Timothy, Tim, whatever you like to be called, I thank you for writing to me, and he got this nice little Veterans of Foreign Wars card here, and my wife was the one. She was the one that opened this up and read it and handed it to me. And she says, "I've got something here for you that's probably going to make your day." She handed it to me two or 3 days ago, and just about made me cry, Tim. You know, but I'm glad that somebody gets something out of my videos, because I'm certainly not trying to become famous. I don't try to make fake videos. I don't do a lot of editing, window dressing. You know, I don't try to be something I'm not, okay? It's just that simple. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for, you know, watching the video. Thank you for visiting me in my home, and I've reached the end of my speech. Take care of yourselves, and we shall see you on down the trails.